Have you ever felt grateful for someone's kindness, but at the same time completely suffocated by them? That's exactly what I'm living through right now. And honestly, it's been harder to handle than the divorce itself. Yes, you heard that right. My husband is leaving me for another woman, but it's my in-laws that are making me lose my mind. My husband and I have been married for 8 years. I loved him, I trusted him, and I believed we'd grow old together. But a few months ago, he told me he was in love with someone else, and he wanted a divorce. I felt like my entire world collapsed. But before I could even process it, his parents stepped in. Now, don't get me wrong. They are some of the kindest people I know. They told me I was like their own daughter. They said they were heartbroken for me, and they promised they'd stand by my side through this mess. And they have. They've been supportive, encouraging, telling me to fight for fair child support and alimony. They even moved into our house because they didn't want me to be alone. But here's where things get complicated. At first, their presence felt comforting. I had someone to talk to when I cried. They helped me with my child. They cooked meals. They tried to keep me busy so I wouldn't think about the betrayal. But slowly, I started feeling watched. They have an opinion about everything: what my child should eat, what bedtime should be, what discipline should look like. I'd say one thing, they'd say another. And guess whose opinion my child started following? Not mine, because Grandma and Grandpa were always there, always louder, always more convincing. And that's when it hit me. I had lost not just my husband, but my authority as a mother, my sense of control over my own house, and even my peace of mind. I would walk into the kitchen, and there they'd be, rearranging my cabinets. I'd hear them discussing my decisions behind my back. If I said no sweets before dinner, I'd catch them sneaking chocolate to my child. They meant well. I know they weren't trying to hurt me, but it felt like my home wasn't my home anymore. Like I was living in their house, not the house I co-owned with my husband. So I made a decision. I needed space. I needed to rebuild my life. Just me and my child. I found a small rental apartment nearby. It wasn't fancy, but it felt like a fresh start. Somewhere I could decorate how I wanted. Somewhere I could set rules and know they'd be followed. Somewhere I could heal without feeling judged. But when I told my in-laws about the new place, their reaction wasn't what I expected. Instead of saying, "That's great. We're happy for you," they immediately asked, "When can we get the keys?" I froze. I asked, "Why would you need keys?" And they said, "Oh, just in case of emergencies." My stomach turned, because this is exactly why I'm moving. To get some space, to have privacy, to not feel like someone can just walk in whenever they want. And that night, I sat on my bed thinking, what do I do? If I refuse, will they get upset? Will they turn against me? Will they tell my husband I'm being selfish? Right now, they are my biggest supporters. They're the ones telling me not to back down in the divorce. If they switch sides, my husband could use them as witnesses against me. But if I say yes, I'll lose my one chance to have real freedom. I'll never have a moment that's just mine. They'll be in my space, maybe when I'm not home, maybe when I just need to cry alone. I felt torn between gratitude and boundaries, between pleasing them and protecting myself. In the end, I realized something important. I can be thankful for them and still say no. So the next morning, I sat them down and spoke from the heart. I said, I am so thankful for everything you've done for me. You've taken care of me like your own daughter, and I'll never forget that. But I need this new home to be a private space for me and my child to start over. I promise you, if there's ever an emergency, I'll call you first, but I can't give out spare keys. I said it kindly, but firmly. At first, they were quiet. Then they said they understood, even if they didn't look thrilled about it. And honestly, I still feel a little guilty, but I also feel relieved. For the first time in months, I feel like I have control over my own life again. I can decide what happens in my home. I can set routines for my child. I can breathe. And that's the lesson I want to share today. Being a good daughter-in-law doesn't mean sacrificing your sanity. Being grateful doesn't mean allowing people to cross every line. You are allowed to have boundaries, even with people who love you. Sometimes, love and space can coexist. In fact, sometimes you need space for love to stay healthy. Now, I want to hear from you. What would you have done in my place? Would you have given them the keys just to keep the peace? Or would you have said no like I did? Let's talk about it in the comments, because I think a lot of us, especially women, struggle to balance kindness with self-respect. And if you're going through something similar, just know this: you are not selfish for wanting privacy. You are not wrong for protecting your peace. Thanks for listening to my story. If you want more honest conversations about marriage, divorce, and life lessons, make sure to subscribe, because next time, I'm talking about how I handled seeing my ex with his new partner for the first time. You don't want to miss that.